Good morning, everyone. This is Kathy Mason from MasonWorks Marketing here on Conscious Business Zone with my friend Michael Ney. Hi, Michael. How are you?
Hi there.
How are you doing today?
Good. Well, you were saying it's getting to be night. It's just in the morning here now in the land of Oz.
That's great. So, yeah, I wanted to say, what's the future like?
The future is bright and rosy as long as we all choose love.
Oh, perfect. Perfect. Well, I wanted everyone to meet Michael because he has a incredible new concept about putting together a project which creates a community that creates multimedia possibilities for this new phase of humanity as we go through all these changes towards the ascension. And his site is called Beyond Being Human. And so, Michael, I was very excited to find out more about, I know you're very humble. So I would love to find out more about your journey and how the Beyond Being Human concept came to be, so that everyone could understand. And then we can go through different ways that people might be able to enjoy or contribute to it. Okay?
Absolutely. That's fantastic. Thank you. And it's great to be on your show. I've been watching a few and I love them.
Oh, good.
So, well, to begin the beginning, skipping a whole kind of early history that I now realize was very, very important in the lead up to this particular experience. I was doing self-development workshops with a man called Robert Kirby, and that was 6-7 years ago now. And in actual fact, just coincidentally, this is his logo. This is a t-shirt that he gave me. And I spent about a year or two doing various things. He's a wonderful teacher, very intense, and like a lot of growth happens in every one of his workshops. And I found myself in a situation with just one other person in front of me. We're doing like a question and answer kind of exercise. My crown chakra started to really, really expand, way more than I ever kind of remembered, really. And then the energy just grew and grew and grew, and it became, like really intense. And at one point I thought that I might, the funny thoughts you have, like, well, maybe I can see this energy, out of my hand, right? And I looked down at my hand, just down by the side of my chair, and it's like, wings? What? Wings? I was like, okay, something's going on, obviously. And as I kind of refocused and was looking for the person in front of me, I couldn't see them anymore. The room had, well, in my memory now anyway, there's a spherical kind of aspect to it. But even though I was looking that way, and in logical sense, the angel was behind me, but I could see the angel. That's what it was, like an angel with wings. And I now maintain that it actually was an angelic being. And we can talk more about the details of why that is. But the thing is, too, well, just to finish that story, it was an incredibly big surprise. It didn't freak me out, didn't scare me, but that image, coupled with the immense amount of energy that was coming in, I didn't think to ask any questions. There was no kind of telepathy. And he was very, very stern. It was a male. sort of almost like a American footballer's face is what I think of, like strong jaw, very serious. It's like, we're doing work here, you know, kind of thing. And quite tall, like, I don't know exactly, 6 or 7 foot. And it was overwhelming, like, obviously. But I found too that I had to deal with that energy. It started to make me tearful, not from an emotional sense, but from just the amount of energy. And I found, okay, I just need to breathe, relax, just stay calm, just allow it all in, and everything's okay. And just breathe and breathe. But it kept growing stronger and stronger, and I would get tearful again. I would start getting tense again, and it was like, okay, breathe again, you know. So I think this kind of process went on, I figure, about 10 minutes.
Wow.
Who knows? I have no earthly idea. But what happened was, at some particular time, it just sort of like all just, yeah, okay, everything's coming back to normal. And I suddenly saw the person in front of me again. As soon as I did, I said, what did you see? You must have seen something. You know? And nothing, not a skerrick, no hint of anything. It was like I had dipped out for a second and come straight back in.
Yeah.
And if that's an out-of-body experience, I mean, bring them on. But it's a very unusual kind of one, you know.
Yeah.
But from that point on, I started to have little inspirations. But before I get to that, one of the first people I called was Mary Rodwell. Most of the audience probably have heard of her. She's a wonderful researcher, been totally dedicated for most of her life on this particular topic, or certainly the last decade or two. And she talks a lot about star children and knows all about the different kinds of entities and things through her hypnosis clients. I had only just met her a week or two before that experience. Call that synchronicity? I don't know. Anyway, I rang her up. She's the most sort of knowledgeable person that I knew on this topic. And she asked, well, maybe just stay open to the fact that it could have been an extraterrestrial, not an angel. That one question has kept me spinning for years.
Oh, wow.
You know, it's like, yes, it makes total sense. And to be absolutely frank and honest, I can't answer with 100% assurity that it was an angel. I'm feeling now more that it is, because a lot of people who report abductions or visitations from different kinds of ET races and things like that, they get more ET stuff. What I get at various waves of things is more like people involved in Christ consciousness, and also the inspirations that come and the feelings that I get. And it's like, even with the angelic kind of realm, I feel very, very enlivened, I guess, by that.
Yes.
And so in the imagery that I'm doing with Beyond Being Human, I'll come to the final point of this little story in a minute. I'm using angel wings a lot, and I'll show you that in a minute too. But so here's what happened. After I spoke with Mary, I found that I wanted to research all of these different things. And this is 6-7 years ago. I literally scoured YouTube and the websites and books and whatever, because I wasn't really very well versed in it at all. I had seen UFOs at least a decade before, maybe even longer before. and nothing absolutely out of the ordinary happened with that. Well, now that I think about it, it's like I was staring into the sky at a silver ball for hours, right? Who knows? Because are you going to move? You know, it was almost like a meditation, just watching what is going on. You know, obviously you're not from here. Certainly not a balloon, and certainly not swamp gas, that's for sure. Anyway, so I became interested in UFOs after that, of course. Anyway, so I did this great big intense research into the whole field. Totally confused myself, totally got bamboozled, like, what? There's 80 races that we're dealing with, you know, or more, and all of that kind of thing. And I found I didn't know who to believe, who to trust. It was all unbelievable at that early point. And I would imagine most people come exactly to that point where, like, okay, I can believe that a little bit. But what actually happens when you see the 1,000th person talking about their interaction with the Greys, you go, well, okay, there's got to be something in this, right? It took quite a while. Anyway, after about a month, I was just going from my bedroom to the office in my home there, and I energetically felt an activation or something. Something made me stop and just pay attention. And I was looking at a blank wall, and I was just feeling that there was some kind of presence. And what happened now, as I look back, I think I got the words first, beyond being human. But it was like a ball, like a sphere being given to me, like, here you go, beyond being human. And it just kind of like, okay, what's all that about? I have no idea. And I just sort of felt into it. And okay, yeah, the first thing was like, do a presentation about all of the research that I've been doing. And well, here's a funny thing too. All of those personal development workshops I was doing was to kind of build my self-confidence, because I wasn't a good public speaker, really didn't like being in the limelight, fairly shy. And my business was actually even kind of suffering because of that. And I was finding it as I got older, it was harder and harder to get more of the work as a video producer, multimedia producer. And then, well, yeah, I won't go into more details about working with Robert, but it turned me around more or less. And it was like, okay, well, now is the time. I've got something that I am passionate about talking about. So, okay, I'll consider that and just put it aside. Like, just literally, I was talking to a friend, a very lovely 80-year-old, amazing, just really out there lady, doing music and all sorts of things, and has done many gatherings in her home for many, many decades, in fact. I was talking to her about all of this, and then about a week later, I think it was, she rang me up and said, you know what we were talking about? Could you come to my place? And I've gathered about 20 people who'd like to hear all about it. I was like, okay, sort of, yes, all right. And it really challenged me, gotta say. I put together a PowerPoint so I could gather my thoughts sequentially and whatever. And they thought, no, this is not enough. I just really am not an expert. I don't know what's what really. I'm just relying on everyone else. It's like, Mary, I called her up and said, would you help me out? We're just doing a little presentation for a bunch of people. And the generous soul she is, we got on a Zoom together during that presentation, and she was wonderful. And it made so much more sense then to have her validate all the things. And we went through the hybrid breeding program and star children and all the different races. And it was fantastic. Anyway, so that was the birth of Beyond Being Human.
Oh, okay. Okay. So I'm trying to get back on. There we go. I'm trying to get back on again. What I wanted people to understand is that this is an opportunity for you to get a different point of view, an international point of view, number one, about this subject. And number two, see the creative aspect of it, because this expansive information allows you to see how you can be more creative and expansive in everything you do, and not reduce everything to what we've been told, because the people that are on your site are mediums and psychics, and just like you explained your spiritually transformative experience, I've had one too. People have had near-death experiences, people are walk-ins. I mean, you've got people that have had not just alien experiences, maybe they all are remembering part of their hybrid background, who knows, but it isn't just about that. It's about the opportunity to be beyond human, right? That's what I want people to really get, the gift that you're offering.
Cool. Yeah. And that sort of feels like it would be a good time to show the homepage at least.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, please do.
So what I'm feeling now, when I see images and when I see people in videos, this started happening a couple of years ago. There's a different kind of feeling. And when I saw the base image of this, I felt that kind of resonance. A lot of it, this is just a shared library photo image that you can find on different photo sites. A number of people have used the base image, but I've added various elements. And as you can see there, the angel's wings. And this is where it allows my creativity to kind of shine too, because I love doing this sort of stuff. And I am so grateful to another photographer in America, George Laraki. And I'll show you some of his images that I'm merging in with what we're doing. And he's almost like the theme photographer. But here you have the main aspects of the entire project as it's now grown to be. Exploring our multidimensional nature is the aim of the entire project. So that's a very, very broad opening for all sorts of people to come and interact and learn at different aspects. Only recently did Kat Divine, who's one of our flight crew, she came up with the saying or the headings of engage, explore, and expand. And it was just a little comment under a Facebook post. I've got a Facebook private group and a public group, and she's involved in both of those. And as soon as I saw it, that energy happened, like bing kind of thing. And I literally reconfigured the entire website according to the way that worked. But I'll just quickly flip down a little bit. This is not some, but our latest event. It's actually the first course that's being presented by Reverend Devi Grace, who you're going to be interviewing real soon. Thank you. That's great. And I should mention too, you're part of our flight crew as well.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, which is fantastic. And this is the way it all just kind of is expanding with people coming in. I'm not seeking people really, like just they come in all sorts of different ways and often quite synchronistically.
Yes.
But anyway, so for me, Star Trek was a big influence in my youth, and now it's grown up, and this is from the latest Picard series. And I actually am about to put a little disclaimer or notice there that because of the story of Picard, it looks like they are supporting or, the story involves transhumanism. And personally, I'm feeling that's not the way. In fact, we should be very, very careful about all of that.
Yes.
But anyway,
That's
so I hope this isn't a spoiler for anyone, but what happens is Picard dies, and the inventor of, or the chief scientist behind making synthetic life forms transforms Picard into a synthetic being. And this is him now after death, actually. Anyway, carrying on. So I won't go through this in great detail. People can have a look at the website. It's beyondbeinghuman.org. I'm yet to actually get .com, but I will be working on that. And yeah, I mean, there's a lot of material here now. So George Laraki, this is the photographer that I was telling you about. He does these sort of backgrounds, prismatic light photography, and it's in all sorts of ways just so perfect for the themes of Beyond Being Human. Anyway, it goes on. I introduce all the different people, and actually, have you got another question? We just came to the testimonial from Nadi, and I was thinking maybe that'd be good to play.
Sure, go right ahead.
Yeah. Okay.
Sure.
Do
your name? It's on Vimeo there.
Oh. There we go. Can you? No, you probably can't. Let me.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, let me just double check. I've got sound. I do have sound, and away we go.
So I've been so excited to meet up with Michael, and he invited me to be part of this documentary project, which is actually much bigger. It's a transmedia project, and he's got extraordinary visions for really having a different conversation about all of these extraordinary experiences, whether it's the paranormal or walk-ins, indigos, starseeds, hybrids. He's got this whole vision for a shamanism panel, and he's working with Christ consciousness, contributing to projects with the homeless. It's amazing. So that's kind of what we're doing. I want to clarify, this isn't an idea from Michael, right? This is a completely inspired project. And he's got this incredible experience of an angelic intervention, and he hasn't been able to sit still. He has been totally driven to make this project happen. I mean, he's up at all hours, and the energy going into it is so heart-centered. And I just wanted to add that piece. There's a really high vibe behind this whole thing, and I'm honored to be a part of it.
Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. So see if I can add myself. Oh, good. I added myself without Okay, so for the audience, I think that now you can see, you get an idea a little bit about it, and you get a little bit of an idea that Michael had a spiritually transformative experience, and something changed within him. He got a bigger vision of his capabilities of being beyond our traditional thought of being human. So that's our hope, actually, that people that experience the site and experience the people in the community, most of them have gotten a glimpse of their divine nature, and they want to share, and they want to teach, and they want others to really get not feel alone, because there's been so many times that we've had people that were these brilliant lights that they hid because of being afraid of the consequences of showing up in their pure light. But not now. You're creating a whole community of these amazing beings that each one of them is more dynamic and special than the other. Can't hear you. There you
Well,
go.
that actually leads me then to share again with the flight crew. So there's a great big long story with almost everybody, or sometimes a very short introduction, and then I've not had to twist anybody's arm in any way, shape or form to be part of this. Starting with James Carman, who's now the co-director of a documentary idea that came out of wanting to do that presentation. And he's an award-winning filmmaker running a production company in New York. And Jennifer Stein, and this is one of the synchronicities there too, where, let me just...
Yeah, I've met her before. I've met her at several events. She's amazing.
Yeah, she's lovely too, yeah. Actually, I'll just pop back. I wanted to show you more, but so a little story here. Shortly after that angelic encounter, I always feel a little bit self-conscious talking about it. It's like, yeah, you know, I don't want to claim that I'm anything special. I think everybody is probably experiencing things like this and may not even be aware of it, you know, but that's a whole other story. Anyway, so I got the opportunity to spend a day with Travis Walton and filmed him doing a presentation one night. And Jennifer Stein had invited me. She heard of me being a filmmaker and whatever, that I was interested in ufology, all of that. She invited me. I did that. That was that. Hadn't spoken to her for years. After James, well, here's the thing with James. I made friends with him shortly after too. He did a documentary called The Hidden Hand.
Oh.
Which was very groundbreaking 10 years ago, over 10 years. And you can still find that online.
Okay.
And the links are on our website. Every person has their own page. So with all of the links, and I'll be updating that and all that kind of thing too. But The Hidden Hand goes through a lot of the main topics that we're going to be looking at in our new documentary, Beyond Being Human. And anyway, I made friends with him many years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, again, after the angelic encounter. And I was just looking for producers. I thought I'd talk to him. And he said, well, guess what? I don't want to actually be producer. I'll be co-producer, but I'd also like to be co-director. It's like, whoa, okay, that's surprising.
Wonderful.
Yeah, we've been working on, you know, he's very busy. We've been working on things as time goes on, and same with Jennifer. I should point out too, like what Nadi said, initially I thought like, okay, let's do a documentary. But then I got the urge, the inspiration, the message, I guess. Share everything. Whatever comes, just put it out there. It's all good. As long as I feel that that person is aligned to the message and to the ideals of Beyond Being Human, then that's fine. And that's what I've done. And the transmedia, which is a fancy name basically for like YouTube podcasts and social media and all of that thing. And eventually it'll grow to other kinds of things like books, what have you. But that's how that transmedia thing got born in like, yeah, well, why not just share it all? And that leads me to another thing, but I also wanted to talk about Nadi. So she was one of the first people that I saw after another one of those energetic kind of things. And there's been a few of them where I got up one morning. A lot of this happens early in the morning. And again, I got stopped. It was like, do it now. I'd literally let it go for a number of years, like so much so that I'd let beyondbeinghuman.com lapse, and I'm trying to get it back now.
Yep.
But I got do it now. So I went back and reviewed all of the scripts and things and took off and kind of started watching more videos again. And Nadi appeared on a show, and there was something energetically that just kind of, like really pay attention. And she wasn't saying very much at all. She's a very quiet spoken, very kind of, in a way, humble and unassuming, very knowledgeable, very experienced person. And I reached out to her and we did a whole long dance. It took quite a while to actually even connect the very first time to have a conversation. But it came to me that she actually is the ideal person to be the center, I guess, inquiring mind of the documentary. And that's what we're working on. So you'll be seeing more of her down the road. And she does fantastic courses on crop circles, and she also does light language, and sacred geometry is also a very big part of her life. Anyway, moving on. Another question?
Well, I guess I want, I'm going to see if this works again. Well, I'll just add pin. Okay. What I'm curious about is the title Beyond Being Human, because I also had a spiritually transformative experience going on 19 years ago now, almost 20 years ago, that I think of it every day, just like when you're explaining your experience, it's in full color right there. And but the interpretation of it keeps evolving. And I think everyone on this planet, I mean, I know that all the animals, all the plants, all the rocks, everything is ascending. It's not just us. Each one of us is, everything that's here and Mother Earth is all changing. And that's why I was so attracted to Beyond Being Human, because of that natural, the capacity to evolve. And the futurists, a lot of the futurists, and you hear Bruce Lipton and Greg Braden, they're all talking about how the Anunnaki worked with our DNA and how we can expand. and I'm really looking forward to this time period, which we're in the middle of right now, where we get a chance to see that there aren't any limits really to what our consciousness can do and what we could do. So could you talk a little bit about that, or how you see that? Because I'm sure that's part of the film, the film theme, and the people that you've connected on the website that they're the ones that I've watched. They all have superpowers. So that's the way I look at it. What do you think?
Well, yeah, superpowers. I think every single person does have their own superpower. It is just a matter of being open to live it. And for me, the entire project of Beyond Being Human, as I said in the beginning, it's like, let's skip 40 years prior to all of that, or 50 years even. And I'm recognizing how it led up to that. And anyway, we could talk about that for ages, but I think, yes, you're right. Really, all of these people do have superpowers, and it's kind of amazing to find myself, like, now there's over 20, and I've actually got 2 or 3 more coming in very soon, and they're all very gifted, and a lot of them are quite famous, like Preston Dennett's probably one of the most prolific authors that we have on the field of ufology. And Melissa Sophia Joy is a wonderful medium and healer in her own right. Glenda Dawson's an incredible psychic. Zenka Caro runs LightNet. Now, she's doing extremely important work in a very similar fashion to Beyond Being Human. And I'm so glad she's part of our flight crew, and we're going to be doing various collaborations down the road. She is bringing science into the whole kind of thing. And she runs an organization called LightNet.
Oh.
Yep. You don't know about LightNet?
I think I do. I think I heard about it through Unity Earth.
Mm-hmm.
That may be it. But again, this is what it's expanding human potential, where the frontiers were out of the box.
Exactly. Yeah.
And there is no box.
There is no box. No, definitely. And
yeah, Kosta I've seen before too. Kosta.
Well, yes, I'm coming to him. So he's kind of really championing the C5 movement. And that's a very practical way. It's not the only way of contacting our space brothers, as the old term used to be. And it's very successful, though. Like, people have a lot of really amazing experiences, and it's all very heart-centered as well. And then straight underneath him, Sylvain Rochon, he has the Alliance for Extraterrestrial Diplomatic Contact, and recently held a conference. Huh. It was really, really quite amazing too. So you can check him out. And he is working with a number of people, and they're looking to build an embassy for the arrival of ETs. And they've actually got quite a lot of funding ready to go with that. They're talking with the UN, they're talking with a number of different countries around the world, and I believe that they're making progress on actually confirming which country will be involved in that, creating the embassy.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty phenomenal. And it actually kind of leapfrogs, I'll just stop for a sec. It leapfrogs a lot of the, I guess, political mayhem around UFOs, and especially with the US government wanting to go further forward with a fear-based kind of attitude. And it's like, oh, you know, they're probably just doing that for financial reasons. We need another war so we can spend lots of money.
Oh
kind
my
of,
gosh.
you know?
Well, well, I've been in Boulder, Colorado, where I live. We've had a group that's not meeting right now, but was meeting before the lockdown, called Boulder EXO. And then there was Boulder EXO 2.0. And what it did is it allowed us to go to the law school, because we're in a college town, and hear these incredible speakers that a lot of times came into town to be interviewed by George Norrie or by Guy TV or by Sounds True. And they would come through and, oh, maybe we could get them for Friday night to speak to us. Then there'd be at least 100 people there. And they could sell their books and everything. But, oh my gosh, I mean, some of these people, it really gives you a different aspect of what the possibilities are, because a lot of the speakers had ET contact and they had no fear. There was nothing but a deep love and affection and an enhancement of their being after being with them. And that makes sense that any higher frequency being would require that we get out of 3D in order to meet them part way. And that's where we're going. We're going to higher frequency, higher vibration, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I hadn't quite got to answer your first question about beyond being human. And you've hit on the exact kind of thing. Like, once we do have interactions of some sort, something does change. The veil's thin, and as they say, and all of that. And one of the things we're going to be exploring in the documentary is the gifts that come,
Perfect.
which clairaudience, vision, all of those kinds of things, telepathy, but also healing. And it's incredible, and more research has been done recently with other documentaries coming about on all of those kinds of topics. For me, in the arc of the documentary, which would take me too long to go through, but that kind of thing is just one little slice, and it fits in amongst the fact that all of this, like the paranormal, the highest of the high spiritual kind of realms, the ETs coming here in their, I'm being facetious, tin cans. You know, we're finding more and more that it's all to do with consciousness, as Grant Cameron has been saying for decades.
Yes, I just watched him last night again. I love him. I got to meet him. See, he was one of the speakers at that Boulder EXO. I got to go out to dinner with him. And yeah, I mean, we are so lucky that we're in a time where people, so a lot of these researchers have been doing this work for 20 years or more, and they're finally feeling comfortable speaking their truth, which gives us all the opportunity to see the bigger picture. And it's divine. I mean, that's part of it, is that what we're seeing now from the media is a fear profile. But in reality, we are so loved, and we are so nurtured, and we are so supported from those angels, from ETs, from our ancestors, from every level. There's very little to fear, and everything's a learning experience. I mean, we're in Earth School. I want to get an A, but oh well.
No, I mean, that's something too. Preston talks about how so many stories to do with the ET contact are to do with healing. Like, they come, seek these people out, and like, okay, we're going to heal you now, and it's a miraculous healing. Yeah, don't worry about that. And carry on, and keep nurturing your divine spark. That's sort of like the overall message. And there's so many people. So just on Grant, Jennifer Stein recently did a presentation, and Grant did that for the mainline MUFON, right? And she's given Beyond Being Human permission to republish a lot of that too. I'm yet to kind of work all of that through, as well as this is all in the works right now, so I can't say too much, but Grant Cameron, he wrote a book on music and UFOs called Tuned In. And yeah, I mean, his book, Tuned In, Music and UFOs, deals with what happens in the inspiration and the contact of ETs. And it's incredible. And recently, I just found out that John Anderson from Yes had an encounter in his hotel room with a being that changed his life.
I think that's the exciting part, is when you start hearing these stories and these researchers, they're not, some of them are experiencers, but a lot of them are primarily researchers or investigative reporters, like Paula Harris. I worked at the Starworks USA last year in November, a year ago. So yeah, I love all of this stuff. But I'm talking about the human potential. That's where I think that the opportunity for us to do accelerated learning, for us to leave a better world, a better society than what we've created. All of those things, the self-healing, all of the knowledge, the indigenous had a lot of it. And then we went through the dark ages, and now hopefully we're going back to the Renaissance.
Yeah. Well, that's also part of the work that Devi Grace is doing, the ancestral healing. And, we could probably just do a whole show with that. Well, you're going to talk with Devi anyway. So, yeah. But absolutely, the whole thing with Beyond Being Human and how it plays a part. And again, this is sort of the underlying motivations, is to start reaching out into a more mainstream kind of world. Like there's many, many people who have had experiences and they rapidly expand into knowledge about all the different aspects. But many people outside of that, just living regular lives, I won't say ordinary, nobody's ordinary, we're all extraordinary. And that's Nadi's favorite word, by the way.
That's perfect.
Yeah, so I mean, everyone has the potential, as long as their attitudes and openness stays open. Because I come across so many people who just go, nope, show me the evidence. And it's like, okay, and we're now gathering that evidence. And this is the work that Zenka is doing with LightNet. Like, okay, there is evidence, we can do it, and we can repeat it. We can get statistics. We can really show the world, like, this is real.
Yes,
but not just in our own abilities. Like she does spoon bending things, and then she runs, not her, but a number of people involved in LightNet hold workshops on telepathy, remote viewing, spoon bending, all of that, and it's fantastic. Anyway, the overall initial phase of where I'm in right now in say that word again, preparing for the documentary, is to create a engaging, entertaining way of introducing people who are ordinarily resistant to all of these kinds of things. like we're at an interesting period in our history right now with the whole ufology kind of opening up and disclosure. And like, I've never kind of understood this whole disclosure kind of thing, because the grassroots disclosure has been happening for decades. And that's what Kosta Makreas is championing as well with ET Let's Talk. And it's not an easy job, and dare I say right now, one of the things that I'm finding as the expenses of just running the website and doing all of these videos and buying hard drives and things, all sorts of different things, as well as the upcoming travel that I need to do, I am having to start looking at raising some finances. And previously I wasn't kind of thinking about any of that. It was all researching the topic. So I just put a call out there if anyone wants to talk about various opportunities, either as an investor or just a partner in that financially, then that'd be great. But also just becoming a member of Beyond Being Human. I've costed it as low as I possibly kind of can. At the moment, it's $86 a year US dollars. And there's other benefits. So I'm giving 20% off membership of LightNet. I've worked a collaboration with Zenka. So if you join, I haven't actually put the button online yet, but there'll be a button like join both Beyond Being Human and LightNet at the same time. You get 20% off. So,
well, I think what people are going to see now that they know about you, and now they know the incredible quality of people that you have on your flight crew, they're going to start watching, and you're really at the very beginning of your journey. This is like creating a bridge from the old world to the new world. And so this is a great opportunity for people to get on board, get on the bridge, start walking over with you, and watch this thing grow. Because what's different about this than a lot of the other programs and opportunities out there is how international it is. I mean, if you're really looking at, right?
Yeah. Let me tell you then, I wanted to mention before, let me quickly show you this. This is very exciting. I recently made friends with Greg Sullivan. He's an American living in Japan, and we are organizing an Asian panel.
Oh, cool.
So we'll have people talking about China and Malaysia and Japan and Australia as well. And Linda Martuch, who has done a documentary about ET contact, has been involved in C5 quite a bit. She's hopefully going to be moderating it. It's still early days. It may take a little while to work out the date, and we're still kind of doing that. But yeah, just you were talking about all of the different people. So I showed you the flight crew, but these under here, the special guests, I'm hoping very much that Adam Apollo is also going to be one of the main people in the documentary. And yeah, please have a look through his work. It's absolutely incredible what he's doing.
Yes.
I can't even begin. Kevin Briggs, we've done conversations with Kathleen Marden, with him, and he is an incredible medium in contacting various different races. And Diane Broussard is involved now in the Conscious Awakening Network doing a show, and she's got a bit of a shamanic bent. But we recently did an interview with Scarlett Rivera, who was the violinist on Desire, working with Bob Dylan.
Oh, beautiful.
And that made her very, very famous. And I'm going to be releasing that very soon. Michael Brownlee recently passed away, unfortunately, just very, very suddenly. but I was doing a course with him that he organized called Wrestling with the Angel. And that was very, very deep and interesting. And that led to doing things like the Engaging Angelic Realms panel that Michael was in on, as well as Cat Divine. And yeah, dotted throughout the site are little tabs. I don't kind of really feature a lot of this very much. You just will come across different aspects and, oh, we've done this video, we've done this discussion panel, we've done this conversation and things like that. But that in particular was a really amazing kind of thing. But just quickly flick through. Joseph Burks was one of the first interviews we did. He's been long involved in CE5 and MUFON. He's got a great depth of knowledge about the UFO topic. There's Grant, and we're going to be doing the music and UFOs.
That's great.
Michael Carter was the host of the Beyond Christmas show last year.
Oh,
We're actually going to be doing another one coming up, hopefully. It's all still in the works. Donna is an incredible lady. She was in the channeling panel, so you can check her out with that. Vicky Dobbs is also a shamanic kind of lady. And so it goes on. Kelly is a great psychic. Kevin is one of the musos who's going to be in the music panel. Lionel was in the shamanic panel. And so it goes on and on.
wow. That's what I love about a lot of the people that I work with. Oh, David there. David was just here last weekend and
Right.
we did a class. Yeah. I didn't know he was on here. Cool.
Yeah.
And Carol and Cheryl. Yeah, I do know a bunch of these people.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing.
Andrew,
that's why I think it's a who's who resource guy.
Exactly. Yeah. And you know, this is the thing too. I think we talked about this earlier. When I was first researching all this stuff, it was like I didn't know where to go, who to trust, and what was good and what wasn't. And so that has informed the way that I'm putting all of this together. I just want it to be so easy for people to come and just like, oh, okay, I don't need to go ferreting around for, oh, where's that link and this, that, and the other. It's like, it's all kind of right in front of you. And
Right.
I'm doing all of that more or less for free, hoping that the membership will grow to pay for the time that many hours, I can tell you.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the thing is this is a legacy gift. This isn't just because so many people are waking up, and certainly the younger people waking up, they've already rejected what was the status quo, but they may need the guidance to see what's next, or to reassure themselves they're on the right path, because they may already be on a great path, but not really know. So I wanted my audience to know about this, because we try very hard to give resources and content to people that don't have time. They're so busy as servant leaders taking care of their own employees and their customers that they don't maybe have the time to take care of themselves. So by knowing about the Beyond Being Human site, it's a great opportunity for them to have a Rolodex that they may never, just like you, it would have taken years for them to find. Well, it would have been a going down the rabbit hole, that's all. Right?
Well, exactly. And like, it would take me ages to tell you the story of how I came in contact with a lot of these different people, but it is one of the most rewarding and satisfying things I've ever done in my entire life. And, you know, thank you, angels, or thank you, life purpose, or whatever. But yeah, I'm so enjoying doing it. And exactly the point. So people with short time spans to be able to do that. If you came and just like once or twice a week, just even have a read of one person, and that's going to expand you. And if you watch a little video, that'll expand you a little bit more. And
That's right.
so that's the way it works,
The
But-
the other thing is when we say that there's this many different types of humans here on the earth, I know that let's see, what was his name? I'll think of it. Sorry. I want to say Jeff Chili, but I'm not sure his first name was Jeff, but he said there was 58 different species of humans here. So that's the other part. The internet has allowed us to find the others. And that's a site like yours allows you to go, that one's not for me, but that one is. And and
Well,
it's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, that's a very interesting point that right there. So I think every person has their lineage and their connections with various different star beings,
Right.
races, whatever. And yeah, you don't have to like know about all of it and whatever. Just go with what your heart feels. It's like there's always something to learn and to grow with.
Yes.
And don't worry about it. Don't feel like, oh, now I've got to find everything out about the Greys and all of that. It's like there's so much, you'll never actually even come to it. I try, but I've now got to the point where it's like I can only just keep up.
Well, again, this is a site that gives hope and encouragement to everyone to explore their boundaries. We've been dumbed down, and that's been through our patterns and our programs that we chose to have before we got here, and through our family and cultures. And we're being elevated right now out of those paradigms into a whole new world that's full of so much creativity and problem solving. And this is a cornucopia of ideas that Michael has put together that's going to really change your life if you play around with it. Don't take life so serious. Have a little fun. See, I'll have a little bit of this and a little bit of that. It's like a recipe, right?
Exactly.
Yes.
And just to mention too, one of our flight crew I mentioned before, Melissa Sophia Joy, if you're interested in exploring more meditation, she's doing like a 10-part meditation course, and you can find that on the website under the expand panel, where you'll see all of the different kinds of courses available. And so that's expand. Can you see that? Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's our educational offerings, and that'll be going a lot further. One last little thing to mention too, that I'm only really starting to work with, we're talking about gathering all of the knowledge. Virtual Realm Exchange used to be my company name doing multimedia and video.
Oh.
And I gave that up a number of years ago, and I'm repurposing it for this. So our key theme words that you saw on that banner, I'm going to be creating pages, and many pages, in fact, with little videos and articles and all sorts of things about the different topics.
Wonderful.
And, I'm still just putting it all together. But these are all topics I'm feeling that the world has to know about and to start accepting a lot more. And we need to get over this ridicule thing of like, oh, you saw a ghost and now you're strange and whatever, that kind of thing. I mean, that's the least of it. The whole thing when people have had extraterrestrial encounters and start talking about it at work and find themselves fired the next week and things like that, and husbands and wives splitting up and all of that kind of thing. It's like, that's just silly.
Well, that's the same experience as the near death people that, I mean, some of those people have held their story tight to their chest for 30 years. And what you're offering is a way for people to start exploring and finding words. That's what I found it. I didn't have words. I still don't. I have feelings, because when you have a higher frequency experience, it doesn't come with explanation. It comes with a feeling, and then you know when you're home or when you're not home. So yeah. So Michael, we're almost out of time. I want to make sure people know how to get a hold of you, and if there's one last thing that you'd like to end our conversation with. I'm sure we'll have others, but for this first interview, let's see, could you please share?
Well, I guess really I would love people to become part of our community. And so just beyondbeinghuman.org. It's an organization, as well as being a documentary production company. And let's have a quick look here. And there's your page.
My page.
Yeah. So this is my kind of fun, having the fun I have with the creativity of working with people's images and things. And you can find out all about Kathy here.
Yeah. Or yes.
So yeah, just the one sec.
Well, Michael, I just, while you're doing that, I feel like you're getting the band back together. That's what Absolutely. It feels like, is like, okay, yeah, we've done this before. Maybe it was 26,000 years ago, but get the band back together, right?
Yeah. Well, and working with Sheila Seppi, who's just started the Conscious Awakening Network, she invited Beyond Being Human to be part of that. And we're going to be releasing a whole range of different videos, which is very exciting. And let me have a quick look here. I can hopefully take you there. That's Michael Rhodes. I've known him for a long time. So you can still see the share screen there?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, so our initial people are doing 1 hour a month starting next month, and we've recorded some already, and it's going to be an ongoing kind of thing. We've got 2 or 3 other people, including, yet to be absolutely confirmed, but Preston Dennett doing a 1 hour show, and that's very exciting. So being part of the membership like that's all actually being made available for free. But if you can support us by becoming a member of Beyond Being Human, that really, really helps.
Great, yeah. Great. Well, thank you so much. It's very exciting. And I'm excited that we're able to share this at the very beginning of your journey, although you've been working on it for a while, but as far as the consumer side, this is just getting started. So please keep your eyes on beyondbeinghuman.org and enjoy it. Enjoy the hopeful message and the exciting availability of expanding who you really are and exploring that to the max. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy, too. And as Celestine Starr, who recently passed away, used to say, and I love this saying, glory in the light of the radiant one.
Perfect. Perfect. Thank you.